Welcome back to Appliance Educator. Today we're going to walk through the steps of unclogging your garbage disposal. So the first step with working with a garbage disposal is to make sure it's turned off. If it's not turned off and you're working on it, a garbage disposal can change your life forever. So make sure it's either unplugged underneath the cabinet from the wall or the power breaker is turned off. If you want to do like me, I usually turn the power breaker off and unplug it just to make sure everything is completely turned off. Once you have that, the first step to do is grab your tongs or tweezers or a tool like that where you can get in there and fish around to see if you can pull something out. Usually a small metal utensil can fall into the garbage disposal and wedge it shut. So you can reach in there and pull it out, feel around. You never really want to use your hands in there, even if it's turned off, just because a garbage disposal is basically like a blender. And you wouldn't stick your hand into the blender to fish out what's inside. So when you have your metal tongs and your flashlight, you want to take a look in there and start reaching around and pulling out what's inside. You never know what could have fallen in there while you're working. So, so somebody had put a little wrench in there. Who knows what you're gonna find inside. Got a set of car keys. It's basically a black hole, a garbage disposal. And that's why you want to use your metal tongs. Little kitchenware. Got a staple gun. After you're pretty confident you've removed everything from the garbage disposal, you can use your tongs to kind of open up and look inside to visually check to make sure there's no silverware, no metal, anything that could have been around your sink that could have gone in there to wedge between the blades and stopped your garbage disposal from working. Once you are pretty confident everything's out, make sure you remove everything from the sink and garbage disposal, plug it back in and turn it on, running your water into the garbage disposal to make sure that it has water to empty out what's inside. If it sounds like it's running properly, then I think you're good to go. If it still sounds like it's jammed or it's clogged, especially if the water won't go through it, we have to move on to the next step. Usually, tongs and visually checking will help clear out any clog in your garbage disposal. Sometimes you have to go one step further. The first step, we cleared out the garbage disposal and we could visually see there's nothing in there. It's still clogged. What you have to do is similar to if your toilet is clogged, is get a plunger. Now this plunger, we're going to drop it into the sink, the drain. We're going to create a seal with it. And essentially, just like you would with a toilet, we're going to create a suction and plunge out the air. There'll be water resting in there if it is clogged. And essentially, just create your suction there, get some leverage on it, and just simply plunge through. And the air inside the plunger should force the clog through the pipes. If that doesn't work, you'll have to uninstall the garbage disposal and look in the pipes yourself. Or if that doesn't work, you may have to call a plumber out to actually fix them. But for me, this has always worked if the tongs hadn't. It's only been a rare occasion where I've had to use a plunger, but it does such a good job with clearing out the pipes and clearing out the clog in your garbage disposal that this might save you a few $100s from a plumber coming out to look at it. And it may be that your garbage disposal works just fine. It's just a simple clog. So we've gone through two steps. First step is using tongs or tweezers to physically remove debris in the garbage disposal. Second step was using a plunger to try to force it unclogged. There is one final step before we have to call in a professional help. And that is our classic tried and true baking soda and vinegar. What this will do is create a chemical reaction in there to unlodge any clog inside the garbage disposal. This also is better than buying like Drano for your garbage disposal. Any harsh chemicals you put in there may ruin the plastic parts inside the garbage disposal. So if you're trying to unclog it and using harsh chemicals, you may actually damage the garbage disposal. Whereas these will simply clean out any clog without actually ruining the garbage disposal itself. So the first step, and the third step of this process, is to take your baking soda and your vinegar. And we're basically going to just dump it into the garbage disposal itself, and it'll create a reaction inside. And then you'll see it bubbling inside there, and you can actually hear it as well. what we're going to do is turn your faucet on to drain out everything that's unclogged. Let it sit there for 10 minutes or so to basically unlodge all the clogs, and you'll essentially see the clog itself go away before that. If this doesn't solve that problem and is still clogged after trying a plunger, trying to physically remove debris, and trying your baking soda and vinegar mixture, you may have to call in some help. Thanks again for watching. If you liked today's video, leave a like. If you've tried these methods or other methods entirely, leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe to the channel for future videos and leave a comment on content you'd like to see moving forward.